Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vanessa, and in today's video we are doing another TBR Jar Chooses my reads for the month. Last time I did this, I used this jar and it was so hard to get inside, to get prompts. They kept falling out and I kept having to choose one by default. So I wanted to get a larger jar. Did I do that? No, I didn't, because as always, I procrastinate. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to dump all those prompts inside of this bowl right here. And then we are going to do a bowl chooses my read for this month. Okay. I think this is simpler. This way I don't have to pick one by default and kind of feel, like it wasn't a real pick. I just want to feel like I was in control of my destiny, as I was doing this. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it. The only thing is, I'm just gonna leave one spot for one book that I know I must read this month because you guys have been telling me to read it over and over and over again. So instead of choosing 8 books like I did last time, I think I chose 8 books last time. I think I'm gonna choose 8 books this month just because I read 8 books last month. I read 8 books the month before. So I think 8 is my number. I'm gonna choose 7 books and we're just gonna leave 1 book for like that book. All right, so enough talking, let's just get started. All right, so first prompt. Let's see. A book with magic. Oh, that's easy. Here you have it, a book with magic. Now for this one, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. The reason why I'm going to cheat is because obviously you guys can tell I have a whole fantasy shelf here, not more than shelf, like a whole bookshelf of fantasy books. But I am going to pick a book that is on Kindle Unlimited that I ordered the physical copy. It's on its way, and that's only because so many people are reading this book right now, well, the whole series, and you guys wore me down. You wore me down. I'm going to read it because I'm having FOMO. I want to be part of discussion. I want to fall in love with the characters the same way you guys have fallen in love with them, and that is Zodiac Academy. Now, this could go both ways. It could go that I absolutely love it and I join you guys in this whole madness that is currently going on, or I absolutely hate it and I'm left on the outskirts. I'm hoping for the former. Okay, the first. I want to be part of the first group. But yes, so we will be reading Zodiac Academy. We're gonna start the series and see what we think. Okay, all right. Second prompt, let's see what we have. Ooh, how does this happen? Even though I said I'm getting a bigger jar and it still happens, I'm gonna get a book by default. A book that became a movie. A book that became a movie. Oh, that's a tough one. It ends with us. I actually read this already, so I can't do that. Okay, so for this prompt, the only book that I found that kind of sort of fit that prompt was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. It's part of the Immortals Instrument series, but also overall part of the Shadowhunter series. The Shadowhunter series does have a show on, I believe it's on Netflix, so I don't remember which company produced it, but they did have a season. They did have it for 3 years, so it's not a movie, but it's on TV. Okay, so I'm going to go with this, especially that I've been wanting to get into this series. I don't know much about it other than that it's very long series, as you can tell, and it also has some novellas, I believe, in between, or some other books that are part of it. I think it's a very long series, but either way, all I know about this one is that it's a girl who sees like 3 teenagers committing a crime in the middle of the night, and she finds out that there's a whole other world out there with shadow hunters and demons, and I think she gets attacked by one of the demons. So it's supposed to be very good and people really love it, so I'm excited to get into it. So that's going to be our second book for the month of November, and I think I'm gonna get to this one. So I'm happy with this pick because I genuinely think that I will want to read this, so I'm going to get to this one. Okay, so third book. Okay, let's pick. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, a book talk recommendation. I like this. What's a book that's very popular on Book Talk? Okay, so for this prompt, I picked 3 books. I feel like all these books have had their moments on Book Talk, but also these books are books from some of my favorite authors that I have not read yet because I keep holding out because I'm like, I don't want to feel like I don't have any more books by these authors to read. So, although Lauren Asher, I haven't read her Dirty Air series, but this is the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and I'm like, I don't want to finish the series. This is Final Offer. And I think also this is like a second chance romance, which also second chance is not my favorite type of trope, so I don't know. This is also a second chance romance, so that it could explain also why I haven't read it also. But this is the last Emily Henry book that I have not read. And then we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And the fact that there's an Abby Jimenez book on my shelf that hasn't been read is actually criminal because I love this woman's writing so much. But it's because people say that this one is very, very emotional, and I don't think I was in that headspace for it. This one also apparently is very emotional, so I don't know. What should I do? Should I pick this one then? But it's so big. It's so thick. I think it's the... Okay, no, I've already made up my mind. Definitely not going to read this one as part of the TBR. Maybe I will read it, but it's not going to be part of the November TBR. Okay, so we have Happy Place and Just for the Summer. 2 summary books to read in November. We're gonna go with this one. We're gonna go with Just for the Summer. Okay, so in this one, I do know that the 2 characters feel like they have a curse on them because whenever they date someone and they break up with that person goes on to find the love of their life and get married. So they come up with a plan that they are going to date each other for a short period of time, break up, and then this way they will themselves go on to find the love of their lives. And of course, it doesn't exactly play out that way. So I think I'm gonna read this one. Okay, I've made up my mind. Next prompt. Oh. All right, I'm getting a lot of opportunities to use my fall TBR because I had so many books on my fall TBR that were fantasy books. This one is simply just a fantasy, any fantasy. And okay, so for this pick, I chose Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I have been wanting to read this book because I found out that it's not like, I don't think there's any romance in this book. And I want to get into reading more fantasy books where romance is not a big plot. Although people did joke around and said that if the 2 main characters just went along and kissed, most of your conflicts would have been resolved. So, but there's no romance in there. And apparently it follows these 2 guys who are friends who go to school together. They are studying, I guess, how to increase their powers, or at least how to get powers. And something goes wrong and now they become enemies, and they basically spend the rest of the book trying to like destroy each other. I think that's what this is about. And they become kind of like superheroes / super villains where no one is truly a hero and no one is truly a villain. So I'm excited for this one. So we already have 4 books that we've already picked. Let's go for 3 more. A book with an author that you've never read. That one is easy. Oh, I could go both ways. So I could go with fantasy, or I could go with contemporary romance for this one. And with fantasy, I've never read anything by Olivia Atwater, and I really wanted to read Half a Soul, so that's definitely been on my radar. But I've also been wanting to read a book from Anna Bonham Young, and that is Out on a Lamb. I've been wanting to read this book, so that's also one book that is potentially an option. Or Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I really want to get into this one also. Now, I really want to read another cowboy romance because even though Elsie Silver is writing the Single Dad series right now, and it is set in Rose Hill, it does still give small town vibes. It is not cowboy right now, and I'm kind of missing that. So this is a tough one. This is so tough. What do I pick? Okay, since we already have a couple fantasy books, I'm going to go ahead and put Half a Soul back. I'm gonna choose between these two. I've heard such great things about this one. So many people say this is a 5-star read. Okay, I'm gonna go with Out on a Limb. In this book, we are following, I believe, two people who decide to have a one-night stand, and then she ends up pregnant and they decide to co-parent, and then from their co-parenting, from her going through the pregnancy and going through that whole process together, they end up falling in love. That's what I gather from this book. And I do believe that one of them does have like a lamb difference. Like, so it looks like he has a prosthetic. So that, guess that's where the Out on the Limb title comes from. But I hear that it's very sweet. The romance is amazing in this one. And it's also one of those books that make you forget that a one night stand is where the romance started. So even the slow burn girlies really love it. So I'm going to choose this one. Okay, two more. We are almost done. Let's see. A book a friend recommended. Oh, that's an easy one, even though I'm not excited about it. For this prompt, I'm going to pick Verity by Colleen Hoover. It was recommended to me by my sister-in-law. She really loved this book. She said that it really had her attention from the get-go. I don't know anything about the book except maybe... Actually, I think I know something. I think I know that a woman is a writer. Something happens to her. I don't know what, but that her husband invites someone to come and finish writing the book or to come live with them for some reason. I don't know. I think it has to do with the book. And then from there, something happens. But I don't want to know more because this is supposed to be a thriller. So I want to go into it as blind as possible. I have to say, I'm not really excited about this one. I wasn't really in the mood for that for this month. So I don't know if I'll get to this one. This will probably be the last book to get to if I finish my TBR, and we all know my track record. So okay, last book to pick. A book you bought because of the cover. So many of my books I bought because of the cover. Come on, the cover for these books, amazing. The drawing and the illustration that was used to do them, amazing. This style is, I don't think there's any other books in this style, and I love the cover. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I didn't buy it just because of the cover, although the cover is beautiful and stunning and I love it. I did buy it because it is cowboy romance, but I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I don't know anything about this book actually, except that people really love the series. So let me take a look and see. Okay, so that sounds really interesting. So it looks like Emmy comes back into town. She used to ride horses. She comes back into town because an accident happened with her horse and it's making it difficult for her to get back into riding. It looks like Luke is kind of like an unofficial member of the family. He was always around when she was growing up. He used to tease her a lot, but now that she's back in town, he's seeing her in a new light and he cannot take his eyes off of her. So it sounds like this is going to be the typical small town romance and everything that I've been itching for. So I am excited. All right, so we've picked all our books. Now it's time to reveal the 8th book that you guys have been asking me to read. You guys will not let me live this down that I haven't picked this up yet. And it is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So that's another thriller book for the November TBR. I feel like this month's TBR is looking really good. I feel like we have some really good options. We have 2 thrillers, okay? But this is like at the bottom of the list. Like this is probably the last book I'll read if I get to everything. But we still have 2 thrillers, okay? We have 3 fantasies, 2 currently here and 1 on its way or on Kindle, okay? And that's really good option here. And then we have 3 contemporary romances. So I feel like this is an amazing selection, a lot of variety, a lot of different authors. I feel like we can do this month. I will prioritize the TBR this month. You've heard it here first, and I will come back in December and tell you guys how I did, okay? That's it for the video for today, guys. So let me know which book you've already read, which one you love, which one you think I should start with first. I already know, I know. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We will start with this one first. But then other than this one, which other book you guys think I should pick up? If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. You already know what to do, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!